So Natalie's been pretty successful over the years deer hunting, and she's turned into quite the sharpshooter. But what we wanted to do is I wanted to make sure this year that she started to understand exactly a little bit more of the finer details of being a hunter. And so that started with knowing how to play the wind.
When we are hunting, we try to get the wind blowing towards us, not towards the deer, so they can not smell us and they don't get scared and run away.
So I wanted to explain to Natalie how to play the wind when it comes to deer hunting. And it was no easier tool to do that than the HuntStand app. And the HuntStand app has a feature called the Hunt Zone. The Hunt Zone shows the wind direction, and it shows the area in red that the wind will blow or is most likely to blow. That's the area that you don't want your deer coming from. So when you set up a stand or a blind, the idea would be is to make sure that we know by placing it there that our wind during certain wind directions will be blowing away from the deer instead of towards the deer.
My first year deer hunting, it only took me one day to get a boy deer, and it was a really good shot.
Yeah. That was a big deer.
Did I get it?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Last night when we were looking for it, we walked right past it, and I gave up because I was getting too tired. And I said, let's go look at the video a few times. And then we saw that I hit him. The next year of deer hunting, it took me a few days to get the boy deer that I was hoping to get.
Center punched him. Well, what do you think? You're gonna clean him? Skin him? What? Well, that's your job, though. You shot him. You gotta skin him out.
My first years of hunting, I got some pretty good boy deer, and this year I was hoping to get another good boy deer, or maybe even a girl.
So we got to know this farm pretty well last year. And what Natalie and I found out is that it's an alfalfa field that's surrounded by tall grass natives. And these tall grass natives have these draws in it, and the deer like to bed in the draws as well as in those tall grass natives. This year was going to be a little different though. Because those tall grass natives were in CRP, they were released because of a massive drought that we were having in the county. They were released to be harvested for forage. So without those tall grass natives this year, we were gonna have to depend on the alfalfa field that we were hunting. Now, it's always really drawn the deer well to it. And you'll find that when it comes to green browse, whether it's a plot that's intentionally planted for that purpose, or if it happens to be an agricultural hayfield like this one. This one is a hayfield, it's alfalfa for the intended use to be harvested for the cattle. However, it does do a great job drawing those deer right to where we want them.
Before I went hunting, me, my mom, and Kurt and my little sister, we were scouting and we saw some pretty good deer.
Pretty good buck.
Come here.
Whole group of bucks, 3 of them. Right there. Right there. See him?
Oh yeah.
Straight out in front.
Shot him pretty big. That one on this side.
Yeah.
That side.
Yeah.
It's bigger.
Yeah, I think the one in the back is definitely the biggest one.
I think the one on this side is the best. Or the one in the back. The one in the back is the one on the heat. Bristol. Are you helping sister find deer? Are you trying to look for some?
I I don't know if it was him or not, but it was a good
I
deer.
don't know what deer that was. That deer's a big deer. Dude.
Yeah, and then
You see him and you say shooter. That's all
exactly.
I know.
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
that the one Natalie said she wants to kill?
Yeah, I think it's the same one we saw the first
Last
night.
year.
Well, yeah, last year we saw him the first night. He showed up.
Yeah.
So, all right, Natalie, we'll go. Natalie's got a friend she's gonna have a sleepover with, so.
For the second time this month.
All right, Paul, so we're actually hunting a field that Natalie shot her buck on last year. Natalie's all set, sighted in at, what were you were shooting at 100. We're an inch high, or inch low, and at 50, we're about right on. So, if they cooperate, Natalie's gonna get a crack at one. We'll just don't know which one it is yet. So on the first hunt of the year, we're sitting there and we start to have a few does and small bucks filtering in. And Natalie started to ask whether or not she could maybe shoot one of the does. And I said, well, it's only the first night. Let's go ahead and let's wait and see what happens and wait just a little while longer.
We saw some grilled deer and we were gonna wait a little bit and see what else came out before it got too dark. And then a boy deer came in.
So as the night progresses, out steps a really nice 11-pointer. And it was a good deer, got us excited, and Natalie decided that she was gonna take a shot.
After I missed, we waited a few days to go back out and hunt again.
So the day came that we could hunt again, and I got a text message from Ian. A new buck had showed up on the farm. In fact, he'd walked right past our blind. He was a good buck, but we weren't exactly sure how good a buck he was. Natalie, you ready?
Getting all up in your face today.
All up in your face.
All up in your face.
Tripping to the night, I'm all in. Drifting in your tidal wave.
Well, Natalie's eating, which, if you ever hunt with Natalie, you gotta bring lots of snacks, right? And the deer usually work from left to right. They might come from right in front of us, but the wind's perfect. We were just looking at HuntStand, and just like Saturday night, about 3 days ago or so, the wind is in our face. The deer should be in front of us. So, as long as they do what they've been doing, hopefully she'll get another crack at one. There's a bunch of good bucks out here. So the weather conditions looked awesome. It was literally set up perfectly for us, and we really expected that we were gonna see some good deer. But for whatever reason, the deer just didn't move like we thought they would. They waited until a little later in the evening to move.
We didn't see any deer for a while, and we waited for a long time. And then Kurt saw this really big boy deer to the side of us.
So I caught movement to the left of the blind. I looked out the window and I saw a great buck, and I got super excited. I thought, this has got to be the deer that we saw on the trail camera. Get up. Shoot. Careful. So Natalie started to get in position, and we started to get the kind of blinds switched around because he was going to come from our left to our right in front of us. as that buck made his way in, he just kept getting closer and closer. And there is nothing more beautiful than watching a large whitetail just graze there, unaware that we were there in the blind. And we were able to really observe him kind of just in his natural, habitat. There was lots of other small bucks around us. Matter of fact, we had 2 smaller bucks sparring, and it was just fun. What an amazing hunt, being able to be on the ground 45 yards away from a buck of a lifetime.
I made a really good shot, and the deer started running, but he didn't make it out of the field.
Natalie, as she's accustomed to doing, made a fantastic shot, and this deer didn't make it out of the field. But we decided to back out and get some lighting equipment so that we made sure that we could do this deer justice.
I got a deer.
You did?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
A really, really big boy one.
Oh, cool.
So as we're walking up to this deer, he just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And until I put my hands on him and Natalie really got down there next to him, I did not realize. We knew he was a good deer. We knew it was the biggest deer Natalie had ever killed, but I didn't realize it was gonna be bigger than any deer I had ever killed or even had an opportunity to kill. The fact that, I had been outdone by my stepdaughter, I was on cloud 9. I wouldn't have had it any other way. It was absolutely an amazing experience, and I couldn't have been happier for her.
Look what you did. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, look at the mass on that dude.
It's so big it kind of looks fake.
Natalie,
It's cool.
look at that. I bet you none of the boys in your class have ever shot a deer like this. Matter of fact, I've never shot a deer like this.
When I walked up to my deer, I couldn't believe how big he was because he was bigger than any other deer Kurt shot.
So it's just been an amazing experience getting to watch Natalie grow up, and take on hunting, trying to really focus on just having fun and, not putting too much pressure on ourselves, and look at what happened. She kills a giant, like something that, grown men only wish and dream about. And kind of the cool thing about it is that, I just eventually want her to grow to love the sport like I do, but even if she doesn't, that's okay. But if she does and she wants to hunt on her own, I want to be able to equip her with the tools that she can go out and she can be successful on her own. She doesn't necessarily need me to guide the way.
Good.
Mine's the biggest in the house.
Is it?
Yeah.
Ah, you gonna take it to taxidermist?
Yeah.
Yeah. This coming deer season, I'm excited to try to get a girl deer.